What's up, guys? Welcome to the studio. My name's Jordan, and today we're going to be talking about song structure. So what is song structure? Simply put, song structure is the components and the arrangement of the components that allow the musician to tell a story with the music. Now, understanding what these components are and how to arrange them properly for an electronic musician can be somewhat difficult because most of the music that we're exposed to on a day-to-day basis is pop, which tends to rely very heavily on a verse-chorus structure. Now, the verse-chorus structure is very easy to use if you're dealing with a vocalist. Oftentimes, you have a very catchy and memorable chorus, which is led up to by various verses and sometimes a bridge. Electronic music, however, is broken down into four main parts. We have the introduction, the breakdown, the build-up, and the drop. These four components allow the electronic musician to tell the same sort of story and set the same sort of mood without having a vocalist to help narrate the story. Now, going into detail about each of these sections is something for a video all on its own. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to briefly touch on the key parts of each of these sections and explain how they go together and how to organize them. So starting with the introduction, oftentimes this has a somewhat stripped back beat. This makes it easier for mixing in and out of other tracks. And we'll also start to see the basic idea of the mood of the song. So we'll have perhaps a basic chord progression that's oftentimes soft and a little bit in the background, and this helps us to engage just enough to get your listener hooked. This often transitions into what is known as the breakdown. Now, the breakdown is where we really solidify the mood of the song by expanding our chords, bringing in perhaps a melody, and oftentimes stripping away the drums to allow us to have the most control over how we want the listener to feel. Usually after our breakdown, we move towards the build-up. Now, this is where we really start to build the tension. This is where we get our anticipation going for the listener for the upcoming drop. And the drop is where we have the final tension release. This is the satisfaction. This is what you've been leading your listener to. Now that we understand, at least somewhat, what the elements are, let's talk about how to arrange them. Now, oftentimes, the different sections of music are categorized with just single letters, most often A, B, and C. The A sections, usually that's your introduction, your breakdown, and your build-up. Your B sections are usually going to be your drops or your choruses. And your C sections, those are going to be your bridges. Those are going to be where you give your listener the opportunity to really dive into the emotional landscape that you've set up for them. Now, in popular music, the most common way to arrange each of these sections is in the AB, AB, C, B, B structure. This gives you two verses, a bridge, and the repetition of your chorus. In electronic music, however, we don't tend to use that style as much, again, because we don't have a lyricist to push the narrative. We have to use, oftentimes, purely instrumentals to really drive home the story that we're trying to tell. Because of this, Most of the time, electronic music follows one of two main structures. We have the ABAB structure, where we have our A section, the intro, breakdown, and build up, our drop, the B section, and then we'll repeat that with slight variations and increases in the sonic depth to keep the song interesting and to keep our listener from effectively saying, oh, well, I've heard this song already, time to move on. The other variation that I believe is probably my favorite variation of this is the ABCB structure. This is where we have the same first two steps. We have intro, breakdown, build, drop, and then we go into the sonic equivalent of a bridge, where oftentimes we slow things down, we make things calmer in a way that immerses your listener so deeply into the soundscape that it's almost mesmerizing. Then obviously transitioning into your build-up and your final drop. A notable variation on this is the ABCAB, where if we're trying to change the mood for our bridge, our C section, we'll transition it back into our A section to allow us to smoothly flow into the drop again. The other benefit of having the C section is it allows you to change the mood or really deeply expand upon the mood of the track. Whereas with the ABAB, we're stuck with, the same mood the entire time. In ABCB or ABCAB, we can take the mood and we can change it entirely for our C section, or we can make it so much more overwhelming that you can elicit strong emotional responses in your listener. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this, go ahead and hit that like button. It really lets me know that you guys want more of this type of content. Also, if you made it this far, go ahead and do me a favor, drop the fire emoji down below. Also, check out my social medias. I try to update regularly, and you'll find out a lot more about who I am and what I do on a day-to-day basis. Links in the description. Anyways, that concludes our talk about song structure, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.